All right. Hello, everybody. Let me get my iPad here all caught up so I can watch here. There it is. Oh, did not come on yet. It says it's live there. Why isn't it actually working? Try again here. There it is. Okay, my computer was just slow to catch, or my iPad was slow to catch up. Hi, Lisa. Someone can see me. I couldn't see me, but that's less important. I just like to make sure it's working. And sometimes it's kind of like, is it really there? Hi, Barb. So now that mine has caught up, I'm going to give a few minutes and let everybody else hop on here and join us. Hello, Zan from Oklahoma. Hello, Diane. Hello, Viola. Crafty Therapy. Yay, we are loving it too. We're going to be playing with more of it today. You probably saw some of that preview. Um, and you're just going to have to work with me because I didn't have as much time to prep as I was hoping to. This morning just flew by. I had a quick dentist appointment this morning, just finishing something up. Um, yes, Leah's letters. Awesome. We are going to play with Leah's letters today, Lisa. So perfect timing. Hello, Jean from Florida. Hello from Virginia Beach to Wanda. Hi, Sue from Pennsylvania. Hello from Chicago. All right. Well, it looks like we have a few people on here. Gonna sip a little more tea because I'm still trying to kickstart the caffeine energy. So we are going to recreate today with some twists, of course, just because that's going to be how it's going to roll. Um, if you saw in the preview there, this beautiful card, I just have a photo of it because I don't have the real card, but this beautiful card by one of our design team members, Anne. Break from drying your hair. Yay. Hi, Greta. Hello. Welcome, Stacy, to your first live. Awesome. Glad you could be here. So we're going to recreate this. Well, we're not going to recreate this. We're going to use this as inspiration. I've pulled out some different colors, and I think I'm going to do a different word. I'm kind of leaning towards something like thanks, I think is what we're going to do. Hi, Leah. I see Leah just popped on. Um, so we're just going to play with that. I might not do a slimline version. Didn't have time to prep, so I think we'll do a shorter word so it'll fit on just the standard size card. That's what I'm thinking. Thanks, most likely. It might possibly turn into hello. I haven't quite decided. So once we get the camera flipped around, we'll settle on that. But we're going to use a mix of some of Leah's ornate letters. We might mix in, this is more Leah's, might mix in some of the Heather. I have that in the wrong bag. That's the lowercase. I think I just put them away in the wrong spot. So ignore how that says uppercase there. Um, so I haven't quite decided. It kind of depends how it all fits on the card. So the beautiful thing, if you didn't know, Leah's ornate letters and then the Heather alphas, they work together. They're the same font. Let me show you an example here so you can see the A on both of those. It's the exact same font. The A just has that added little swirl and flourish. Same with the B. So you could even layer them together and work with them together, but they mix and match really great if you want to add like some fancy letters and mix and match in with some simpler ones. So, and we love that uh, we work together and our alphabets work together. It's kind of a fun, someone pointed that out in a live recently. So just in case you didn't know that. And then I'll also show you today the dies have some unique little twists to them. I don't know if you can kind of see on this backing here. When you cut out the dies, they have an inner main part and then kind of an outline. So we're just going to use the outline on our card today over the stamped letters. So they all kind of interchange. And I know they're expensive. They are an investment because I mean, this is a lot of metal here on this. It's a big die set, but they're super duper versatile and you just kind of have to decide which ones, if you want some alphas, I think those are some really good solid basic alphas. Okay, All right, so before we move on, let me see. I'm not sure, Zan, about the layering script, the words and stamps. I think these are bigger, these are alpha dies that work, not so much the words individually. Okay, so before we get started, because I saw we have at least one newbie on here. If you've not joined before, we do give away a $15 gift card at the end of this live. And that's chosen from all of the comments and shares. So if you have anyone, anywhere you can share this, a group or your Facebook page or anything, um, go share the video and leave a comment letting us know you did that. That counts as an entry. And then all the comments you leave, feel free to ask lots of questions. I try and watch them and answer them as we're going along. If I miss any, Leah is on here too as Pink Fresh Studio. So she hops on and comments. She adds links to everything we use. Um, and everyone in here is really great. So sometimes if one of us misses a question, someone else answers. And if you know the answer to a question, feel free to pop in with an answer and just enjoy the time chatting. So I think that's all for today. One other thing I was going to mention that doesn't really relate to today's live, but we've been getting a lot of messages about it on Instagram. There is a account that has set up with our name and using our logo. It is not ours. It's kind of posting, trying to gather some information. I know it's been sending messages to some of our followers. So we know about it. We're aware of it. We're working on getting it taken down. The best thing you can do is report it. First, report it and then block the account. That all helps kind of let Instagram know that something's a little fishy with that account. So, thank you to everyone who has let us know about it today. But we know if we missed responding to an email, I know Leah's been a message or an email. She's been trying to keep up on all of those, but we've seen them all. It's just been hard to catch up on them. So I just wanted to mention that it right now it's only on Instagram. It's just something that someone pointed out to us last night. So Leah did a quick little Instagram live video. You can go over and watch on our Instagram to kind of see some more info. Yeah, I just watched that real quick right before I started to see what she had to do. So just letting you know we're aware of it. We know about it. If you see it, don't click on any of the links. Just block it or report it first, then block it and move on. And hopefully that gets removed and taken down soon. So my shirt, which one do I have on? Oh, kind people are my kind of people. I couldn't even remember which one I had on. I had to back up there so you could see it. All right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera around and we'll go ahead and see if we can get started here. Let's see. It always gets squeaky and weird right when I'm turning it around. All right, let's see if that works. Okay, I think we're good there. At least as good as we can get with this little thing. All right, so let's just kind of pull all these alphas over here. We are going to start with the stamps and then we'll catch up with the dies. So I'll probably leave the dies out of the way here for now. And kind of what I'm going to do, we are going to be using the Misty here to line all these up. And I have, like I said, I'm gonna, instead of doing a slim line today, just for simplicity, I'm gonna fit a smaller word onto our card. All right. And I'm just gonna pull all of these out. And again, ignore, this is the lowercase. I just swapped my envelopes and I don't wanna go fish for it now and fix it. But, and this one, I don't have a sleeve that fits it yet. So I haven't even gotten that one figured out yet. But just if you want to know the ones I have that don't fit, what I always do on my things for storing them, I cut up the side of them because then I can leave the bottom taped closed and then I can just slide it out the side, which seems to work really well for me as long as I have that taped correctly. So there you go, brand new stamp set. And now you know what I do to deal with that. Okay, I'm gonna pull out the ornate small one as well. And again, the word I'm thinking of doing right now, I'm gonna start off by trying to do thanks because I think that's gonna, oh, okay, so let's see, Lori, I see your, yeah, it doesn't, I don't have it scheduled in advance. Yeah, there is an email reminder if you're signed up for email. I see Leah's answering that, so I'm just gonna leave that there and let her know. I think Leah, she's talking about the all the different ways to connect. All right, so we're only going to use that one capital, and what I'm trying to decide now is if I want to mix and match in some of the small letters, some of them ornate and some of them not. So what I'm going to do real quick here is I'm just going to kind of lay everything out to plan how I want to get this to fit in here. And I think I'm going to kind of alternate between the letters. So I'm going to fit that little A in there, and then maybe we'll do an ornate N, and then maybe the simple K. I'm just kind of figuring this out as we go. Do you like how prepared I am? All right, let's see. All right, I can see I'm going to have to squeeze these a little closer together. And I also like the way Anne kind of tilted them around a little. And then I think I'll do the plain K and maybe the fancier S to end on. Let's see if we can do that. And then we'll do Leah's in the S. So I got to remember which ones I do so I remember which dies to use here. Okay, and I think I'm going to go a little more straight and less wonky on there to make mine fit. And maybe squeeze those in like that. Okay, so I think I'm liking that for now. So I have another panel. So to keep this easy so I don't lose all of this, now that I've got all this fit on here, let me move everything out of the way. And I'm going to scooch this off to the side so I can keep track of what I have going on there. And then I can just grab one letter at a time to squeeze on there and kind of alternate it around based on how things fit. Okay, and then I grabbed a whole rainbow of Pink Fresh inks to do this with. So I'm just going to start working my way through the colors. And I'm kind of picked all the mid grades of these because I noticed on the sample from Anne, I could tell that she had done some dual layer stamping. So I'm going to start with yellow. So I'm going to do sunshine and then sweet mustard. So I'm going to start by stamping it first with that sunshine. And I love how I've not used the stamp ever. I haven't even conditioned it. And even though it's a fairly solid image, that I noticed that ink set worked really well and it stamped really great on the first. Okay, then I'm just going to kind of ink up along the bottom there, kind of blending across the bottom. And what that's going to do, can you see that on there? I'm going to pull it up a little closer so you can see. It just kind of adds a little bit of, oops, that was noisy, sorry. A little bit of depth to the letter. So it kind of just adds some added texture and almost a bit of a shadow effect, if that makes sense. All right, I'm going to pop that back in place over there. And then we're going to layer on our next letter. I'm hoping as I go along that I'm able to get these to fit on there the way I'm hoping. So that's why I kind of laid them out to make sure. Okay, next color combo. We're going to use passion fruit and berrylicious. I'm going to pull this down. I know my screen isn't quite big enough to share the whole thing. Ink this up. This one I might have to double stamp, but we'll see. Nope, I think we're beautiful on the first try. I've used that passion fruit quite a bit, so I wasn't sure if I'd need to re-ink that. All right, so same thing. We're gonna just add a little bit of color on the bottom there, just to add that layering. This is where a stamp positioner is so fabulous and helpful because it allows you to just reposition and stamp them perfectly. All right, layer that one on there. Next, we're going to tuck that little A nice and close in there. Hold on. Oh, good. You can still see that. I was afraid I was down out of the screen there. Okay, next color combo. Can you tell I kind of went for sort of a fall feel to my colors. Since I'm doing the thanks, it just felt like a good fit. Okay, so we're gonna move on. I think I'm keeping Leah hopping, linking up all these ink colors. So I'm just gonna say sorry in advance because I know I used lots of them. All right, and that apricot, I've used that one a lot. So I knew that ink pad wasn't quite as juicy at the moment. So I stamped that one twice. And then we'll do clementine again at the bottom, just inking that up to add that layered effect. Can you see that on the screen, I hope? Let me kind of pick it up a little closer so you can kind of see that. It's not fun. All right, one letter at a time. We're just filling in. Okay, I think I'll go, let's see. Let's go down a little on that N. Okay, and then on to the next color combo. Now we're moving on to our green family. So we're going to do grassy knoll. A lot of times I go for the more pastel color combos just because I really like them. But this one just seemed like kind of a fun one to do in that more bold look. Okay, so first one there was grassy knoll and then key lime for that bottom bit of shading. And I'm going to do kind of a double of the grassy knoll just because it's a little bit of a softer change between the two. Uh-oh, I messed that up. Okay, and then we'll do our K in there next. I think we're going to be able to fit everything in with no worries. So I think we're doing good. Okay, then I thought it'd be fun to do some purples. We're going to do a little bit of purple. In fact, now that I'm looking at it, a lot of times I really like skipping the lavender. I love Candy Violet and Royal Kiss. I'm going to swap that out. So I'm doing kind of the second and the third deepest color on there. So don't, just so you remember that they're a little bit different there. Okay, ink that up nicely. And again, this is one I've used quite a bit here. So I'm going to stamp that twice in that color. And then we'll do the Regal Kiss for the bottom. And again, since I double stamped with that one, I'm going to double stamp with my darker shade there too, just to keep that ombre effect going. And you can do this with as many colors as you want. I'm just doing 2 for that variation so that I can get that little change. But if you wanted to do 3, you could even do 4 colors right down. You could just go all the way that you want. All right, final letter there. Gonna add our S, tuck it in there a little. And actually, I think I got them closer together as I went along, which is kind of handy because that'll give me a little room if I want to trim this down to mat it onto our card base. It gives me a little wiggle room. All right, then I'm going to end with some brown tones just to kind of complete that sort of, is anyone else starting to feel fall in the air? I mean, I know, yes, back to school. I think fall kind of goes with that idea of back to school, so totally makes sense. All right, and then come in with, so that was dough, which I feel like I can't say without adding a deer. Anyone else Sound of Music fans? And then ended with espresso. Megan, that is, it's called a MISTI. It's a stamp positioning tool. It stands for Most Incredible Stamping Tool Invented. And it's so super duper fun. All right, so we have our thanks on there. So I'm going to add something else to this that I think would be kind of fun. I was waiting to see if I wanted to go ahead and do it, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and go for it. I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to grab a little bit of a blending mat, but each of these colors, because I did the two mid-range colors, I kept the lightest because I thought it'd be fun to kind of ink blend around the outside of each of these letters. So I'm just going to add that on real quick. I wanted to see how long that all took and how much time I would have left. So I kind of waited to make sure that it was something I wanted to add. So I'm just going to kind of go around each color and blend just that slightly softer color. I think it's just a fun little layering tidbit. And I'm trying to keep the color nice and soft so it blends without overdoing it. All right, let's see. We need the red one now for this one. I'm going to especially go super duper soft on this one because I think this color could be a little too bold. So we'll see. I might like it better with the cleaner look, but I just figured, you know what? I won't know unless I try. So nothing like giving something a try to decide if you like it, right? And since I kind of held out those softer colors, I figured I might as well go for it. Okay, Peach Fuzz. I don't think I named each of the colors. Coral Reef was first, then Lemon Whip was our next one. Pull that down a little, make sure it's on. And then Peach Fuzz is the next one we're doing for the orange tones. Okay. And then we'll move on a little bit there. I'm just trying to clean the mat off in between so I don't overmix the colors. And then a little bit of, what was this one again? Fresh Pear. I don't think I can make, I do use, because I do a lot of ink blending, I have a dedicated brush for each one, yes. I know Leah doesn't. I think she has a set and she just cleans them off really well with a microfiber cloth in between. But it was an investment that was worth it to me because I do so much ink blending. I like to just go back and forth and just have one for each color family and not have to think about cleaning in between. So, okay. Then let's see. Soft Lilac. I love that name. I love all these names, I have to be honest. They're so fun. Okay. Little bit of that around there. These are life-changing blender brushes. They're just ones I've been really happy with. I've found that with our inks, the softer the brush is, the better our inks seem to blend. Okay, last one here is Warm Buff. And this one is going to go over that brown color. And just kind of fade that around. And then I'll probably trim this down ever so slightly. I kind of like that. It's almost like a spilling out watercolor look with that little bit of ink blending. All right. Now that we've used like 90% of all of these inks here on our card, I'm just going to scooch all those out of the way. Try and find a spot that they'll not all fall over on my desk. And then we'll move on and try and cut out our little outline letters on this. So I've got some, I went for kind of a gold. This is a satin effect. So it's gold, but it's not like completely mirror imaged. Yes, answering the question, I think a few people have asked. I just put a name on my brushes for the color family, and I'll use this for reds and pinks because I figure those are interchangeable enough. Not something you have to do. Again, Leah just uses a microfiber cloth to clean hers off. I've just really found I use so much for ink blending. I don't want to waste time cleaning them between each. I do clean them periodically, but just I don't want to have to. I mean, like doing this, I would have spent so much time cleaning in between. So, all right. So this is what we're going to use to cut our little outlines. And again, I haven't tested this, so we'll find out how it works here as we go. But let's match up our coordinating dies with each of these. And again, I haven't even cut these open yet, so at least I don't think I have any of them. I might have done the Heather ones. I know I use those. So, and again, just my preference, I like cutting up the side of them. I find it's easier just to kind of slide them out and get what I want and then slide them back in. So let's see, I know in the ornate lowercase, we used the S. We also used the N and the H. So here's N and here's H. So that covers that set. Then the ornate uppercase. Yep, I haven't used this one either. Welcome, Georgianne. Glad you could join us. I'm doing a slightly different version. You can easily do this with a slimline, especially for larger words. But I wanted to keep it a little briefer, so I'm going with, sorry, my brain can't multitask. I'm looking for T on my letters here. I'm doing a shorter word, so just a standard size card for this. Let's see. I'm looking for it. I know T is on here somewhere. Oh, here's T. Huh. You know why? It was sideways, and so it looked kind of like an L, but that would be way too big of a flourish for an L. All right, and then finally, we use the A and the K just from Heather's lowercase, and this one's open. I had used this already. One other note about Pink Fresh packaging, if you did not know, can you see how I'm pulling these off? There's a little magnet tucked in there. Can you kind of see it peeking through there? So all of these come beautifully packaged on a magnet. So you can tip them up and they're not gonna fall everywhere and make a mess. They're not taped on. They're all ready to pull off and use, which is kind of a, I don't know. I think it's an amazing perk. So I love that because I always place my dies on magnets anyway. So I feel like this saves me a good little bit of time. All right, I'm going to quickly just tape all of these in place. Goodness, I didn't realize how many of these were out of stock. I know initially I felt like there were quite a few in stock. So if you already got these, then this is perfect. And if not, definitely sign up for the out of stock notifications. And again, whichever letters you got of these, you can do this with lots of different combinations. You don't have to mix and match the ornate and of Leah's or the plain ones of mine. Okay, I'm going to cut this out with my Gemini. And since this is the only die cutting we're doing, you guys are all okay if I don't lug my machine over here. I might just sneak up and run this through the machine real quick and I'll be right back. All right, the magic is done. Did you all hear that in the off in the distance? All right, set that over out of the way here, and then we'll start pulling all these off of here. Okay, it looks like these all die cut beautifully. Now I can get the little thing and poke it out with the holes, but a lot of times I'll just pull off and now watch it not work. Ah, there we go. A lot of times I'll just use the tape that I use to hold it in place to pull out, like I said, and it's not going to work on that one. I think this is stuck in there too well. Sometimes I've noticed gold cardstock like that, where the metallic ones are a little more likely to kind of be stubborn about coming out of the die. And I always seem to figure that out when I was cutting out, like, you know, huge quantities for classes or something like that. Okay. And there you can see kind of on that one how well that lines up. But I'm going to go ahead. I see why that didn't come out right. Okay. We'll just keep moving along there. I'm going to keep these other letters for another use. But yes, stubborn metallic cardstock. At least this time I'm only doing, makes me grateful that I didn't do maybe as many letters. Yes, of course it doesn't work. And in hindsight, normally this is Tonic Studios. While I do this, let me just pull it down so I can set it here for everyone to see. And I'm going to keep those other letters and use them. But there's what this cardstock is, in case you were looking and wondering what it was. All right, set those all up out of the way here. I'm going to pull this one down. Get all the H's out of there. All right, we're actually almost done. Like I said, it's part of why I picked a word with fewer letters, so I didn't have to spend quite so many hours sitting and fiddling through on this part. Because you guys didn't want to sit and watch me do that all day, right? Okay, the A has another little tiny step because I remember gotta keep that little interior letter and then also the exterior part. Cut that little middle section out. Oh, that didn't fall off. There we go. These are really great letters. I definitely am loving them here. All right, there's our A. And last one, I think we just have the S to worry about now. So let's see if I can expedite that. Well, at least I got the main part out. It's that little fine detail with the gold cardstock. And again, that doesn't happen with all of your letters, or with all of the cardstock. So another great way to do this would be with like a black outline, or you could ink blend over another color. You could also do it with gold glitter cardstock. I thought about doing that, but I decided to stick a little closer to our inspiration piece that we have that we were working with. Okay, now I loved how Anne put these on. Instead of perfectly centering them around, she kind of left them a little sideways, a little wonky. I don't know how else to describe that. So I'm going to grab, I think I'm just going to use a glue pen to adhere these down. And to keep it simpler, I'm going to use my little tweezers just because they are super, oh, all right, glitter cardstock. I guess the ones I did, I must not have done enough. And of course, I wasn't doing them live, so I'm sure that made a difference, but I didn't have too much trouble getting them out. So, all right, a little bit of glue with our glue pen. And then I'm just going to kind of set these on there. Like I said, it's so hard for my brain to do this, but I'm purposely setting them a little wonky, a little off-centered. And it's a lot easier to hold on to them with the tweezers there, if you notice. These are reverse action ones, so I can get my fingers off and get the glue and adhesive a little bit off. Let's see. Go wonky. Come on, Heather, you can do it. My brain just so wants to put them on straight, but I love that look of them being a little bit crooked. Okay. And I love all the different flourishes. I think this is the first time I've really used them both together and mixed and matched. In my head, I could see the possibilities, and I'd seen some other design team member cards, but I hadn't. Okay, there you go. Do you see that? I set that one wonky. I tried. It's hard, but I did it. Okay, and then that little tiny center to the A. I'm going to get that one first because I think it's going to, I've got glue on my fingers now. Okay, offset there. Oh, see, I told you I had glue on my fingers. It wants to stick to my fingers. Okay, I'm going to clean them off just a little bit more. I think it would look really good not offset too, but I'm trying to branch out and try something new, so trying to broaden my horizons a little. And that little bit of imperfection is just sometimes the perfect touch that you need. I just can't get enough that glue off of my fingers. Okay, a couple more letters. We are almost done here. And then I think I have a little secondary sentiment I want to add on here as well. Okay. And I love how this almost makes it look like it was heat embossed over the top. There's just something about that gold with the matte finish. It looks like kind of a matte embossing powder. Anybody else thinking the same? Okay, this great big awesome. This T is such an awesome first letter. That's why I had to do the thanks. I just love the way it branches over the top. And I'm gonna overlap. Let's see. Let's tip that one in like that a little smidge. I'm gonna let those letters overlap just ever so slightly there. Okay, ugh, enough glue and adhesive. Okay, clean off all the goop off of my fingers. Get rid of this gluey piece of paper. And let me give you a little closer look at that. It's not fun. All right, so first thing, I'm gonna trim this down a little tiny bit. I'm gonna take off just, let's see, let's do right in there, I think. And then I'll do a tiny bit at the top there and a tiny bit at the bottom. I could pull out my like stitch dies or something and trim this down, but for now I'm just going to keep this simpler. But the stitching would add a really great edge on there as well. But now we can add this. I could even pick another color cardstock, but the ink blending works okay to make this pop. But let's add, see if it'll fit in there. I was thinking using this Thankful for Friends and adding another little, like that, thanks, I truly appreciate you. So grateful to have a friend like you. You are remarkable. Some of these other ones would work. Let's do that. We're gonna double up our sentiments there. Let's get our Misty back out. I'm gonna go ahead and use our Misty for this. Oh, that's a good idea, Greta, put the adhesive on the cardstock first. That's a really good idea. Then you could just peel and stick it like a sticker. All right, let's add friends like you make the world more beautiful, and then add on I truly appreciate you. I think that would be a good combo of sentiments there, don't you think? And let's do that with, instead of using, we could use detail black, but let's go for the very darkest of the browns. This has such a warm fall feel to it. I think the brown tones will be really great. So Gathered Twig is the name of this one. And this is a perfect example of those really delicate sentiments that you don't want to stamp super hard because you're going to lose a lot of the detail on there. So I am going to stamp, especially this top one, I'm going to double stamp that one because I really wanted to not ink it up super heavy and not press on it super hard because I didn't want to lose any of that detail. I'm going to stamp the other one a second time as well, just a little tiny smidge. Okay, just clean those off enough to put this out of the way. So again, dye ink, that's gonna, it looks almost black right now, but it's gonna soften a little bit and really come out with those warm brown tones there when it gets finished. Okay, you all know what's coming next because we can't finish this card off without one more thing, right? Yep, gotta add some jewels on here. So what color, which color should we choose? I think we need some yellow up in this corner. I think we need some green mixed around a little. And maybe, I don't know, that might even be enough. Let's try that a little, just because I want to kind of color coordinate them in there. So before we do that, I'm going to add this onto the white card base, just so that I don't have to do that once I put the bling on there. then we can sprinkle some of these around on there. Just gonna play a little with the placement. Usually I fiddle with this probably a little more than I need to, but I'm gonna kind of put, oops, there we go. Let's put the yellow kind of in this corner and then maybe build the green a little bit over on the other corner. I think that'll be a good, yes, everything is better. I do not necessarily have a rhyme or reason. I just have found I really do prefer if I test the placement first before I stick it down. That way I can make sure I'm happy with my arrangement um, before I'm committed there, if that makes sense. And I found I do like kind of putting them in varying groups. A lot of times I'll put them in groups of three, but I do like kind of varying the grouping. So like if you look on here, you might notice the yellow, I did a group of three kind of over here. They're kind of together. And then I did three more here. Odd numbers are just kind of something that's a little more pleasing to the eye. So I like to kind of go for that feeling a little bit, kind of to pull everything together. So, and yes, changing the sizes. So I try and kind of mix and match the different sizes around there. All right, let's stick that bling down and finish this card off. Could also die cut. I know Anne on her card, again, used one of the stitched frame dies. One of our basic, it was the slimline version, but we have the same thing in a basic. And she added a gold frame around the outside. So I did ponder that I could do that too. I'm not quite sure if I want to add that finishing touch or just kind of call it good as it is. But I also trimmed this down manually, so I don't know if I've made this so that it now won't fit. The frame might not quite work on there. But again, that little bit of ink blending I think is a fun way to change that up a little. All right, and here we go. You could add an extra sentiment even on the inside with these, like, thank you for always being there for me. So grateful to have a friend like you. That would be a really, really fun thing to add. It's something I don't always think about, but sometimes it's fun to add a stamped sentiment on the inside. Um, and then you don't have to think so much about what to write. So, all right, let me show that sparkle and that bling a little bit. Super fun. The glue I used for the bling, it's just my small bottle of glossy accents, and then I have a detail tip that I put on there. Um, any liquid glue works good. That's just kind of my favorite and the one I have handy and use all the time. Yeah, so friendship, and that's what's so perfect about this set. Thankful for Friends. It's a great friendship set. So it really makes me want to pop it open now and stamp that sentiment on the inside, but I can do that later. All right. So I'm going to give a second here for Leah to post some winners. And I will be back on. Oh, there we go. She was quick. There's our winner. Myra Martinez, you are today's $15 gift card winner. So there's an email there to email Leah to claim that prize. Give her a couple days to respond. And I will see you all Thursday for Facebook, the first card, Jean. So I didn't make the first card. This was done by design team member, and I just have a photo of it. So it was Anne Fien, one of our, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. She's one of our design team members. So she made it as a slimline version um, and did the word celebrate. So I just kind of picked a slightly shorter word. Although as I look on here, I think I only cut 3 words off anyway. So maybe it wasn't a huge difference, but whatever. We'll just call it good. So we just kind of changed it up a little, added some ink blending. Like I said, I didn't do that framing around it, although I could easily add that if we wanted. So it's kind of one of those on Tuesdays, we try and do something inspired by one of our design team members, but I always try and kind of take my own twist on it a little, whether it's changing the colors, changing the design a little, but you can definitely, I think anyway, you can tell that it was totally inspired by her card. So, all right. So I will see you all on Thursday for Facebook Live, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard or Pacific Daylight Time, which comes out to 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and then all the time zones in between there. So I will look forward to seeing you then. I hope everyone has a wonderful week. Bye bye.